The Los Angeles Lakers have, I think, like the best defensive rating since acquiring Luka Doncic. Basically, since the middle of January, since that game against the New York Knicks when they didn't have Anthony Davis, who was hurt, and they made the Luka Doncic trade later that night. They're like 14-4, best defensive rating in the league. We naturally assume that with all the habits that we've heard about from Luka Doncic, Beer Doncic, right? He out here drinking Duff beer like Homer Simpson. That's what they got him doing, right?
Yo, Luka Doncic is the best nickname. Like
Luka Doncic is the best nickname.
That's dope.
I don't think it's I'll put it like this. He's missed out on $100 million, right? Or $95 million by not being eligible to sign the Supermax with Dallas, the team that drafted him. I don't think there's a chance that he doesn't sign with the Lakers. Like with the exception of Dwight Howard. Right? Dwight Howard was the only guy that got traded to the Lakers and was an impending future free agent and did not sign with them. And that might have been the best thing possible for both parties, all things considered. Dwight Howard wound up going to Houston with James Harden, and his career kind of started to fizzle out there. If he wound up staying in LA and his career fizzled out, baby, that would have been ugly. But is there a chance, you think, that Luka Doncic does not remain with the Lakers when he has a chance to sign his extension this offseason?
Zero chance. That man is going to be back in LA. He's going to resign. It's where he wants to be. Obviously, he feels appreciated. His favorite player growing up was LeBron. Everything's just setting up for this just to be like, how did Luka end up in the best destination possible for his career? All of a sudden, we're going to start seeing swole Luka. I don't know if we're going to get to that point, actually, but
so you said
at least he's...
You said swole?
I mean, this guy clearly has a vendetta against, everybody that's kind of hated on him thus far. The Atlanta Hawks trading him on draft night, and then you got the Dallas Mavericks moving on from him. He's obviously has a chip on his shoulder here, and he's already averaging 30, 38, and 8 being fat. So just imagine if he gets in a little bit of shape and he's still smoking hookah. I mean, hey, some people play better with their vices, right? Like Tiger Woods, what happened to him? Man was doing his thing, and hey, he stopped doing the thing, and he fell apart and broke down. So, like, there's a thing about having your vice and doing something that keeps you, I mean, it's a different scale of it, but like no one was hating on Mike when he was smoking cigars, drinking, staying all late night gambling and all that because he was still winning games.
Because he stayed in basketball shape. Damn, Titus. We didn't
But Luka's doing this without basketball shape. He's 38-8 by being a little bit heavier. I don't know what you call him. Burly, like thick. I don't know what he spelt. There you go. Spelt. And he's still cooking them. He's still cooking the league without being in shape. So even if he gets a little bit in shape, and I think having JJ Redick there as his coach, I don't know, like he knows him. Like this was the best place for him to go in terms of culture, fit, lifestyle. He's good, and he's absolutely going to re-sign in LA. Why wouldn't he? Like I'm trying to look at the cons. Like why would he not re-sign in LA?
No, I don't disagree with you. I think you always have alternative plans just in case. It is your job to make sure that you have routes just in case things don't work out here. I'm not saying they aren't going to work out in LA. I'm with you on that. I think the smart money says that he signs with the Lakers, stays with the Lakers, and he's the torchbearer for the next decade or whatever, or however long it is, even though the Mavs seem to think that he's only got 4 or 5 years left on his body before he starts breaking down. I don't think that is super far-fetched, mind you. If the Dallas Mavericks believe that he is so bad with taking care of his body that the bill on that is going to come due, I can understand the logic in it. I don't know if I believe it, but I can understand the logic in that. When certain players who have been known not to take care of their bodies historically, whether it's their own conditioning, the weight fluctuating, not being serious about rehabbing injuries and all that type of stuff. You think about guys like Allen Iverson. Like when it was over, it was over. Like when he took his last hit, he took his last hit, right? Charles Barkley, weight fluctuated up and down, was still like an athletic marvel. But when his career was done, he was finished, right? Even a guy like Shaquille O'Neal, who, for all intents and purposes, was no longer Shaquille O'Neal after 2003. Like being able to sustain the highest of high levels because of the beating that his body was taking, because of the extra weight that he was carrying on his knees and his joints, he was still a really effective superstar player, but he was not Shaquille O'Neal 2000, 2001, 2002. That was the most devastating physical specimen we've ever seen in our life. Like the Dikembe Mutombo, God rest his soul, was probably still feeling them elbows to his mouth from in the 2001 NBA Finals, because Shaq was punishing everybody. I've never seen a more intimidating basketball player than Shaquille O'Neal in 2001. But when you aren't at tip-top physical shape throughout the course of your prime, it hits you on the back end a little bit sooner than maybe it should. You know, compared to, like, let's say, like Karl Malone, who had an extended prime, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, extended prime, LeBron, Michael, extended primes, like that sort of thing. But I'm with you. Just as I bring it back, I do think that he's the next guy for the Lakers. But I definitely think all of that stuff is something to monitor as they move forward with him, as he evaluates where he wants to spend the next chapter of his career.
I mean, so what looks like, what is Luka not achieving that, I guess, what his expectation? He doesn't have a championship yet. So if he gets that within 5 years, does that make this trade worth it for LA? I mean, I think it's already worth it for LA, but it sounds like there is, the thing that hasn't come out yet is like, what does Dallas know that we all don't know? They've been feeding this little narrative about his weight and his habits and all that stuff. But like, is there something else that would, like, the Mark Williams trade got rescinded for a reason. They saw the medicals. They're like, no. We took a second look at this. We're not doing it. This one was just kind of pushed through behind the scenes where we don't really know. I find it hard to believe that it's simply just, oh, this guy's out of shape, or he doesn't take care of his health. He's still balling, but like, we don't believe in him long term, even though we just took us to the finals. That's the thing that I really want to know about this. Like, if it's strictly just the weight and the health and, you know, all that type stuff, this is the dumbest trade in history. But if there's something else and he doesn't last for 5 years, does that at least give Nico a break?
We're going to see. Like, the greatest thing about this is we're going to have time and evidence to play this out. And Nico could look like the biggest fool in the world at the end of it, or he could look like someone who's really clairvoyant.